Why, as soon as I get in here, somebody got to be going in on me about being late. See, I knew as soon as I put this young sister up here with this old ass guy, it's gonna be people will stand by seeing what was going on with this story. so so I apologize. Thank you all for joining, everybody in the chat. I apologize for being late. Your boy was scrambling at the last minute, had to push things back, but we're here. And I'll be honest with y'all, I had a really detailed financial video that I wanted to cover until this article popped up on my radar, and I said, "What in the world?" I was like, "Wait a minute, this is something to talk about. Is a financial aspect of it. Well, for one party, is financial aspect. I don't know what it is for the other party, but we're gonna talk about it a little bit. Before I go in, I always got to give the disclaimer. Hey, I'm a licensed attorney, but not your attorney, not legal, financial advice, commentary, opinion. Find a professional in your area, all that stuff to satisfy the good old folks at the bar association for the various bars that I'm a member of. All right, now let's talk about. We're gonna talk about Miracle and Charles. Miracle and Charles. Now I'm not sure the correct way to pronounce their name. I believe it's the last name is pronounced Pogue, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, I never heard it. So if I'm pronouncing it wrong, and Miracle or Charles, either one of y'all are watching. I know Charles not watching at this time of night, but I know Charles not watching this time of night. But hey, if I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. So now, how did this video find its way into DFD's peripheral view? Well, I was actually scrolling on TikTok and I saw someone did a video about it on my timeline. And I thought to myself, damn, 61 years is a big difference. Okay. So, and I got to start off by saying, women, y'all don't believe in love at all. I put a poll question up on is it true love, or is it chasing a financial bag? And the last I checked, it was like 83 to 17% chasing the financial bag. and every comment that I saw on this video, it was most of the comments I saw in this video that were written by women, where you can look and tell from their handle that they were women. They all were like calling this woman a gold digger. it was cold blooded. So considering that Valentine's Day is around the corner, I thought we could actually talk about this video, talk about it a little bit. I'm gonna dive into the article, and the other thing I found. Well, let me get to this. The other thing I found when I was researching this, trying to find out more about this couple, these ain't the only. This is apparently a common thing. I saw a video with a guy, and I don't know, maybe because I'm a guy, I think it is. How could I put this? I'm not gonna say it's disgusting, because hey, you love who you love, but maybe because I'm a guy, I find it excessively a little bit weirder. But I saw a video and doing research for this open source research of a guy who was like married to like a 85-year-old lady, and this guy was like 26 or 27. And I don't know, it was just the craziest thing that I've seen. So apparently, apparently this is don't hey, we can't put Cher in this category. Okay, if Charles owned like the Los Angeles Clippers or something, I would be like, you know what, I kind of rationalize it, I understand it completely. But it's cuffing season. She started her cuffing season back in 2019. Well, let me pull the article up. We're gonna go in the article. We're gonna talk a little bit about we're gonna watch a little bit of this TikTok video. It's like 50 seconds that I find hilarious. And I'm also talk a little bit about some open source research, because soon as I saw this, and every woman that I know who I asked about it immediately called this poor woman a gold digger. Terrible women. Y'all just didn't even give the sister a chance. Immediately called this woman a gold digger. So that led me to do some source research on the type of business that this gentleman was in. So let's go ahead and pull the article. We're going to dive into the article first. Then we're going to hit the video up. Then we just going to talk about it, because I think y'all just don't want to give love a shot, okay? I think that she is in love, and I think that he is in love. And that's my honest opinion on the front end, okay? See, you like me. Those are the exact questions I had. I was like, wait a minute, this dude got a real estate company. Okay, real estate management. So of course I went digging. I went into the Secretary of State's website. But we go touch bases on that because I needed to know how much this brother is worth as well. He was easier to find stuff on than her. I have no clue what the hell Miracle did. I, I spent a little bit of time trying to find what Miracle did, and probably if I had more time, I could have probably found her to her maiden name, but I just didn't have that much time to go so deep into it. Yeah, you did. You left your comment. We are well aware of your position on this matter, sis. So, okay, a woman is desperate to start a family with husband despite their 61-year age gap. That's crazy as hell, right? And I find these pictures is hilarious too. It was like, I don't know. It's like I can't even think of what it's like. I got something I want to say, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it simple. Okay, a married couple with a 61-year age gap had vowed to start a family despite the 85-year-old hubby, a decade older than his wife's granddad. Miracle Pogue, 24, met her husband Charles Pogue, 85, when she was working in the Mississippi laundromat. Now, I'm gonna just tell y'all, I'm assuming that at first I assumed he maybe owned the laundromat, but nah, they got a little bit more details about that. But in 2019, the pair quickly formed a friendship. Retired real estate agent Charles finally admitted his feelings for Nurse Miracle a year later and proposed in February of 2020. Despite the 61-year age gap, the pair are looking into IVF in the hopes of starting a family. So Charles, who doesn't have any children, leaves a new generation behind. And trust me, there's a specific reason that these children she want to have these children. I'm sure all of you all are intellectual savages. Y'all can figure out why she wants to have these children. Miracle says her mom, Tamika Phillips, 45, and grandfather, Joe Brown, were supportive of the relationship from the start after seeing how happy that she was that he made her. But her father, Kareem Phillips, I know damn well a 47-year-old man named Kareem ain't going to be happy to see his daughter. Could you imagine? I can't even imagine. Like, nah, I would make my father fight him. I would make my father beat this dude up if my daughter came in with some old ass guy. Hey, no disrespect to old ass people, but my dad would have to do his duties as a grandfather and would actually have to fight. I can't even get through the article because y'all comments already got me dying. Okay, it says a Miracle from Starkville, Mississippi said Charles used to bring in one item of clothing and only wanted me to serve him. One day he walks in there, threw a piece of paper down and said, write down your number like he's a player. He was my knight in shining out armor. Now, I will give him some credit because that's very assertive of him to do that. The fact that he went in there every day, he knew what he wanted. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that this brother is probably, for his age, is probably thinking quite quick on his feet. He probably not falling off of bicycles and walking out and getting lost and stuff like that. Okay, we had a good vibe going. He didn't make me feel weird. It was a good conversation. He made me feel comfortable. Now look at that wedding picture. Tell me that's not beautiful. If you don't see the beauty in Mr. Rogers and her, if you all don't see the beauty in this picture right here, y'all don't really know what true love is about. Because I think this is really beautiful. Pills. I mean, this guy got all sorts of. He got the. When you get older, you have to have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday pill holder. Yeah, he got all sorts of stuff going on, and I don't even know if. I don't know. That's a whole nother question for maybe to discuss later on. But like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you may have to get that surgically extracted to be able to carry that out. 85. That's that I don't know, 85. That's kind of up there. Shout out to him if he don't need any pills though. If he don't need any pills, hey, that's another feather that I'm gonna give him in his hat. He seems competent, and if he don't need any pills at 85, oh man, I may have to shoot him a message so I could know at 85 I need to be able to keep kicking. I don't know if it's like oxtails or goat ears, but hey, that is kind of the basic story how they met. Beautiful wedding picture right there. She knew he was older, but she didn't know his age exactly. When I found out, I was in too deep. It was a couple of months, and I already had feelings for him. He was my baby, and he wasn't going anywhere. I found out in a conversation that he was born in 1937. God damn, that's a long time ago. Miracle added, I never placed the age. We just wanted to see how it went. I don't care if he's 100 or 55. I like him for him. I thought that he was maybe 60 or 70 because he looks good and he's always up and active. Definitely not 60. But look at that photo. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, and she disrespectful as fuck. Why she got him standing up? He need to be sitting down in the chair, and she need to be standing up. She a terrible person, man. This is gonna go left. Charles, who married Miracle last July, confirmed he was deeply committed to their relationship. Miracle has a lot going for her. She's got her life in order. She's great, he said. The wedding day was wonderful. It was the best day of his life. There was no problem with the age difference, and people making comments online doesn't make a difference. Hey, salute to you. Don't worry about us trolls like me who find this quite interesting. Even though I do think it's love, we just let them do their thing. We're very happy together. We're looking forward to starting a family together. Okay. Miracle is aware you think that she will likely outlive Charles, as will any children they will have in the future. I want him to have another generation, she said. So this is the whole IVF thing. They go into the clinic. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So that's the long story short. They get some backlash, blah blah blah. People, okay. See, this shines a little bit of granular. Of course, people mention finances, but I'm a nurse. I was starting medical school when I met him, and I'll be well off with or without Charles. It's a choice to be with him, and it makes me feel good that he chose her. Look at that. So all of y'all people out there who think that she's just using this guy for money. Hey, she was a nurse. She was going to medical school. Now I don't know if she's still going to medical school. The way that's written, it sounds like she just said, "Okay, I was a nurse. I'm a nurse, and I was going to medical school, but not now." But that's neither here nor there. I do think a nurse is a very good profession when you can make adequate money to sustain yourself without having to pilfer off of the elderly. So, hey, that's a point that we're gonna give her in her category. It's a blessing to have someone you can talk to and confide in. Oh God, I know our relationship looks weird and people think what's going on here, but I know he's got me and I got him. Hey, that's a very beautiful story. I'm gonna just play this TikTok video, this short video snippet real quick so we can see it. It's 55 seconds of pure elated marital bliss that I wish all of us could have. I'm gonna turn that cheesy music off. You know how YouTube is. That may be some music by somebody. Look at that. She looks happy. You know what? Nah, y'all gotta hear this shit. Yeah, I gotta hear this. Damn the strikes. Whatever. We'll deal with that if it comes. I like how he answered that question. I could tell, even though he a newlywed, I could tell he got a lot of experience because I sometimes I say it, I think it all the time. Anytime my wife say I got a question, the first thing in my head I'd be like, "Oh Lord, what the?" So hey, I could tell he's experienced. And I'm gonna tell y'all how terrible people are. Man, I looked in the comments underneath this video, and she was like, "Am I a snack, an entree, or a full course meal?" And the very first comment said, "She's an insurer." Man, people cold blooded. Yeah, it was hilarious though. Man, shout out to them. Her and Colonel Sanders look real happy. I can't. This is a wild story, but we got to talk about it because as wild as this story may sound, there is a bit of a financial. there is, now I'm going through looking at the comments. Y'all crazy. Glad this sister met her cocoon. Oh man, that's funny as hell, man. Cool laugh. I can't stop laughing. This video is going to hell. This video is going terrible. But hey, I don't know. I guess the first question is, how would you react? Someone asked me, how would you react if this was like your father? And I guess I can talk about a situation like this because I know my father, and I'm not gonna say this old guy is a simp per se, but I know my father. I know he danced. My pop's 72, and he like nah, like my pops date women in like their 50s, so he date women like 46 years old. I'm like, man, they damn near my age. What the hell? But one from a finance standpoint, yo, you got to be able to protect like older folks in your family from potential predatory behavior like this. Not saying that she's a predator. Hey, I'm not saying that she's a predator, but you want to make sure that they're covered because I had to look up this gentleman and check it out. And when I looked up him trying to do some research, the thing I always wonder about with a child at his age, that you intentionally go in knowing your child would likely, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's for me I can tell you for me as a guy, if I were him and I'm 80 years old, I'd be like, yep, you about to have a baby too. I know for me, that's a thing. Like, I feel like I don't validate the marriage unless I would have a child. And a lot of guys think like that. Not all. I mean, this guy's in his 80s and don't have any children. This is his wife. I could see why he would want to have a child, why he want to get out there and kind of do his thing. But, that being said, you got to look out for older folks because there are people out there who are predatory. No, I use financial abuse of elderly. I used to represent elderly persons who may have had cognitive disabilities. Vulnerable adults is what the legal term is. And it's not just an abuse thing, but a lot of times it was financial abuse. They would have their one-to-one provider come in there, provide them all sorts of services. And the next thing you know, the one-to-one provider quit their job and they're staying with Mr. Donovan in Mr. Donovan's house, have all the access to his money, signed over everything. So it is a real thing that happens, but I'm going to give them credit. I think both of these people are in love. I think she's in love with the comfort and consistency, and I think he's in love with having a young chocolate. I think he's in love with, hey, he got something young, he got something new, he don't have no family. Let's be honest, like, who really want to die just like alone? Let's just be honest. I don't think anybody out there would be like, man, I want to die in my late 80s alone for somebody to wonder where I'm at to send them to do a wellness check on me because nobody heard from me. That would be for the birds. So, hey, and she putting it on TikTok because she flexing. I love it because if you look on TikTok at the why she had to put it on TikTok because she flexing. Because a lot of the videos that I saw that were on TikTok, all of them looked like they was on vacation. So I was like, shit, do you think? Every time it was a video of them at the beach, they was in like white sand. She was wiggling her toes. So, hey, you got to think that she's in the TikTok generation. This guy probably this guy probably has no clue what the hell TikTok is. He didn't even know if he answered the question right, with whether it was snack, entree, or main course. So, we gotta be patient with Father Time, because I'm not saying she a gold digger. Man, I can't get through this video without laughing. But let's talk about a little bit of what I could find just about his about his assets per se. Okay. I did some open source research. He has a property management company, and they were incorporated in two states. One was in Tennessee early on, the others were in Mississippi. And you can see in both states, you can see these businesses go way back. I'm talking about this brother was born in the 30s. It looks like the businesses were first opened sometime in the 50s or 60s. There were fluctuating periods of opening and closing the business. A lot of times when you see a lot of business entities where they'll have an entity open for a short period, then it's closed and it's open, it's only two types of people who relatively do that. People who are really legit businessmen, they'll have because there's so many ways to structure your businesses, because they may dissolve a business because of through some type of bankruptcy for that particular business, then they open it back up. So that's actually a pattern that's consistent with scammers. There's a pattern that's consistent with legit businessmen, but he appears to be on the legit side. Everything that I could find just from open source research, it showed that all of his businesses were in good standing. I tried to go back and find reviews, but I mean, I think his last business dissolved and they probably shut things down. I think it was 2020 was when he kind of shut things down. But hey, it looks like he was on the up and up. I tried to find information related to his portfolio or his net worth, but of course a lot of that stuff wasn't out there, because he's not like a super famous guy. The only thing that I could find was some documentation saying that it was commercial real estate property management. And he also maintained a real estate license. So I'm going to give this brother the benefit of the doubt that this brother is probably laced up. He probably got a lot of money. Hey, he's comfortable with this comment already by be crazy. It's so funny because it's true. Oh man, but y'all see the comment on the screen. Hey, this dude is genuinely in love, and isn't it really a bad thing? I mean, and shout out to my homegirl Naja, because she left a comment on the post that I put in the community channel where I did a poll. And isn't marriage a business? I mean, let's think about it. If we talk about business and love, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Marriage is more business than love. Love is the first 24 to 36 months, if that. All that starry-eyed butterflies in your stomach, that stuff gonna fade away. Nobody everybody is going to go away. So hey, marriage is a business, but it's also a convenience. Is always a little bit of give and take, and both sides are giving, both sides are taking. So I think that's I think that's just kind of I think that's just kind of how things go. I think she sees the value in having the comfort provided by Colonel Sanders, and Colonel Sanders sees the value in having this young tenderoni on his arm that it could potentially carry on his legacy. If she rips him off, it's documented. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt just from looking at his business structure and what he had going on from a standpoint like that. I mean, at that age with no kids, like I said at the beginning, nobody really want to die alone. And what's the point of having a bunch of shit and not having nobody to give it to or anything like that? Now, that being said, he probably took some legal if he was advised correctly, he probably took some legal safety mechanisms to, hey, in the event of a divorce, or if somehow I randomly fall down a flight of stairs, I'm sure he probably took he took some things in place to kind of structure things. So, hey, if a divorce happened, he's not losing all of his money. But just from reading this article, I think that's why the pregnancy is a big deal, because if she has children by this guy, it changes the entire landscape of the estate plan in a big way. They could have a prenup now, potentially. If they have a prenup, they got things in place. Finger looking good, but if they got a prenup in place with no children, then children are born, and he legitimizes those children because he signed a birth certificate and all of that other good stuff. That's going to change the estate plan significantly, even if they have a prenup. So I think that that's a really big deal. Yeah. I mean, and that was the other thing that I looked at, but I think the brother got some. I think the brother has enough to just be what you would consider well off financially. The brother may not be super rich, but I don't think he's uncomfortable. I don't think he's going without or anything like that. That'll be the thing, though. Like even at 80 something, like you trying to have a kids, and if they trying to do it naturally, and you taking all those pills, like y'all ever stayed up and seen those late night Viagra commercials? Man, that shit could give you heart palpitations and cause blindness and all sorts of crazy stuff. So a lot of the stuff he probably even got to take to try to do it naturally could potentially put him at risk. Like honestly, if I if I were giving her advice, I would be like, nah, you need to see if you could have this done in a medical standpoint. Because I don't know, like I don't know. I mean, Wolverine, I think we just assuming that cheek clappage is going on. He could be at a point where cheek clappage is cheek clappage where cheek clappage is something that may not necessarily be an option that's available to him. You know what I mean? But yeah, two children. Hey, she got to have two children. Two children. Hey, she got to have those kids to legitimize these things. I'm gonna give this brother the benefit of the doubt. I just don't think a businessman who's been in the game for this long would. I think he's smart enough to know how to limit his risk, and I think she's savvy enough to know that however he limit his risk through a prenup, me having his children, and once these children's, hey, if he legitimizes these children, sign this birth certificate, that's a game changer. It's going to change the game from anything that may happen from an estate plan if they have some type of prenup or what. Now, this is the thing. Man, y'all comments his host. I see his website. He has money because nursing pays well, but usually not that well. Yeah, nursing pays well, but nursing is one of those jobs like it's weird too. Like it's a really high. Nursing is like an attorney. Like if you want to see a bad combination of married couple, let a nurse and an attorney get married. Like those professions have like very high divorce rates because the hours, the stress, high levels of substance abuse. Yeah, and that's another thing too. That's another thing too. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, they do have that risk, and then she'll have to evaluate. Man, if you do have autistic children and something happens to him, are they financially set to take care of children who have some type of cognitive disability? Yeah, that's a big deal too. I definitely agree. I didn't even think about that. Man, that's crazy as hell. Now, okay, I will put this out there. As I was looking, to try to find videos of them, a similar couple, two of their children are disabled. Wow. Yeah, so hopefully they can screen for it because if they can screen for it, that would be dope. But if not, they're gonna have to make precautions to kind of look out for it. But this is the interesting thing, and I'm gonna see if I can pull up this video because when I pulled this video up, I literally typed in married couple, 61-year age difference, just to see what would pop up. Okay, just to see what pop up. And good old YouTube. I mean, YouTube will give you all of the the information, and an open source research will give you everything that you want to find. So let's go ahead and bring this up. First, this is just some of the information that I was able to find with his management corporation. Like I said, they were incorporated in Mississippi. Early years, they were incorporated, and early years, they got married in, I think, 2021. So late 2021, according to the article. So, hey, they got a couple of years under their belt. But this was just the background information I saw. But as soon as I did a search for married couple 61-year-old age difference, I'm going to show y'all what was the first thing that popped up. And when I saw it, like, okay, like, I try to be as objective as I can. I don't ever want to come off as, like being real cheesemo and super or like a misogynist or nothing like that. But this story wasn't that. It was kind of easy for me to palate it because I guess as a man, I kind of went in thinking about it from his standpoint. I literally only thought about it from the man's standpoint. I thought of it as if I was an 85-year-old guy, I'd be like, okay, all right, hey, go ahead, 85-year-old DFD. Or another perspective I thought about was the one of her father, Kareem, who was against that shit adamantly. Those are the only two perspectives I put into context. I didn't even think of it from her perspective until I did a search on YouTube and this video popped up. Okay. Couple with 61-year-old age gap with, and so when I saw this, what do we want more than anything right now? Okay, that's enough of that video. But one, that's crazy as hell. See, like, I guess when I saw this video, I think this is how women felt about the video that I showed with Charles and his new wife, because this brother looked like he don't even want to be there. He looked like he there just for the PlayStation 5 off the break. And once I seen it in that context, it changed my view of what I thought about. Because initially I was like, why all the women are saying that this lady is a gold digger? She actually might genuinely love this guy. Because let's just be honest. It's women in the chat room. Y'all let me know. I think it's normal for any woman who get married, no matter if they marry somebody who old as Methuselah or they marrying somebody a couple years younger. I think every woman, when they get married, has a thought of, when I get married, we collectively can have a better economic situation. Am I right or wrong? I feel like hold on. I'm sorry. I can't talk and then go to the comments. I look at the comments. I'm about to die. This was all I saw. As soon as I turned over here, the very first comment. Oh man, it's crazy. But I think that every woman, unless you're that thing that you can't unsee, that situation, but I think it's normal for a woman to say, hey, I'm with somebody. I expect to be with this person for it to improve. Oh, that's the couple you're referring to? Wow. Oh, the one I'm referring to, they got a divorce. You think? I mean, it's inevitable that they're going to get a divorce. Because I'm telling you right now, like, it's no way. Like that video that was up there with that guy who wanted the PlayStation 5 with that elderly woman. Hey, whatever. If that was me, and I try my best to be a good guy, I'm gonna be honest. But it's inevitable with 110% certainty I'm having an affair. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. I don't think there's no way you can get around that. I think that you actually got to go in. If I was Charles at 85 years old, I'm just going to assume that my young wife at some point in time is going to end up with the pool boy or somebody like that, because it's just no way. it's no way you can not. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't want to sound vain, but the first thing for every guy is physical, and like, hey, all the other stuff, your personality is cool, and all of that stuff. And if you're, non-confrontational, we like all of that shit. But it's the looks and that brings us to the door to find out all the other good stuff. So if I can't get over that hurdle, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be unfaithful as hell. Like, hey, y'all could judge me, but I already know that the fact that that dude was on TikTok doing that, like, I would be disappointed in my son if he did that. I would be more disappointed in my son. That's probably that's probably a real stereotypical thing for me to say, but I would be more disappointed as a father in my son for doing that than my daughter. Both are equally terrible, but if my son did that, I would be like, you low down, no good and scallywop gigolo. I would literally frown upon him. That was their name, Cheryl and Quan. Well, it's just no way that something like that is sustainable in a relationship. I can't see that even being plausible. I'm gonna be honest. I think 20 years is a big gap. See, you don't notice 20 years if a person is 25 and a person is 45. But as you old, like 50, 70, that could be a substantial difference. Not saying that it can't work, but I think that's just a hard burden, a hard thing to get over. I think it's going to be an increased likelihood of infidelity, because I'm just telling y'all right now, if I was that guy in that video waiting for that PlayStation 5, I already know I'm gonna have something else lined up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, but guys don't. I don't think, even when you're talking about a guy and a male and a female, like, generally, I ain't gonna say there are a few guys out there who care about a woman's earning potential, but for the most part, guys don't care about that shit. Like, I've never ever when I met my wife, I've never dated a woman ever in life and said, like, oh man, when I started thinking things were getting serious, I never looked at them and said, oh man, they're going to have great earning potential and we can have a good socioeconomic life. That's not a thing that guys think about, because we just don't give a damn about that stuff. We're like, you know what? Hey, whatever it is, I'll do what I need to do to provide. And so, that's just something that I don't think guys think about in general. The first couple, Cheryl and Quan. Quan is the name of somebody who would do some shit like that to Cheryl, by the way. Met when he was a teenager. I believe it was right when he was friends with her son. Eventually, they started dating when he got old enough to do so. He was friends with her son. Her son should have beat the hell out of Quan. I'd have whooped Quan ass. Pardon my language, but nah, you definitely ain't gonna be like, no, man, come on, my mom's. And if she like, nah. This is crazy. Wow, the more I'm reading the comments, the more I'm realizing that this is something that's common, and this shit should be illegal. You think like that because you're not again. I mean, like I said, there are some guys out there who probably look at women for the economic benefit, but I don't think if you lined up 100 guys, I think the vast majority of them aren't going to give a damn about that. It's highly unlikely, like we talked about before in another video. Shout out to my guy Wolverine. I know a guy who married a woman who he met while he was volunteering in a homeless shelter. That shit that guys would do. I can see a guy doing that. It ain't, ladies, y'all let me know. And if y'all in the chat, would you all ever in your life marry a guy who you met who was in a homeless shelter while you were volunteering? Unless that dude ended up becoming Jeff Bezos, I think the answer is an unequivocal hell no, in my personal opinion. But guys, nah, man, guys typically don't look at the economic situation. And if a guy is looking at the economic situation, like you said, that's just a guy who just kind of a lame and probably ain't got much going for him, like old boy who looked like he was there for the PS5. I know back in 2020 what he was for felony charges for insurance fraud. God damn. the fall from grace is real. Let me see. I know a lot of guys who are extremely averse to being married to a woman making more money than them. Nah, I don't. I think that I don't know. We no to, that's fucked up. No to the homeless guy in the shelter. What if he got himself together all because of your counsel while you were serving him gruel and he ended up getting the job and cleaning himself up? See, you just said no to the homeless guy in the shelter. Guys, hey, if you're in that homeless shelter, you got yourself together, your physical looks are right, guys will be like, you know what? I don't know why you was homeless in the first place. You don't need to be here. Come on. That's just how a lot of guys think. But I don't know. I think this is a good question to talk about because I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. I wish my wife made like 10 times more than me. I'd be fine with being a house husband and I cook and I bring lunch up to a job and I'd be on the PTA board. I'd be the school mom at my daughter's school. I'd be volunteering doing all of that stuff. So I, I know guys like that too. I had a partner who his wife made more than him, so he went out and got like a second job just to make more. And I thought that that was crazy, but I don't know. I think the reason why is important to. I think the reason why it will bother some guys is because I think that that's probably going to be the first point. That's going to be the first punch. Let's just be honest, ladies. Like, ladies, y'all know how to cut a brother deep. Like, let you make substantially more than your guy. And I'm not saying all are like that, but hey, women know how to use words to make them hurt. And that's one hell of a gut punch to be like, that's why your broke ass just do X, Y, and Z. Even if everything clears up after that argument, man, that shit will singe in the guy's brain and it will sit there. So I think that's one reason why guys kind of have that mentality because I think guys think like, oh man, like even though she made nothing, that may be a sticking point because that's just kind of how society made it. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of why guys kind of have those issues with women making more than a. No, I mean, we I can only speak from the example of the gentleman that I know. You know what I mean? Like, and I said it in a live before. This dude was volunteering at the homeless shelter, and he met this sister while she's in the homeless shelter. He's volunteering, and he see her as he's in the homeless shelter, and they spark up a conversation. She started to get herself together. She started to, get a because when you're in those shelters, a lot of times, and where they were at, they was down south, but they have like they provide them with mental health treatment and all of that stuff. But she started getting herself together, got a job, and this dude swooped right in and was like, you know what, she not bad, snatched her up, and they've been married like 18, 20 years, like they've been married for a long ass time. And so, it's possible, but I just don't see that scenario ever happening in the alternative. I think it's very rare that a woman will be like, damn, this guy in his homeless shelter, he sure could be fine if he comb his hair and clean him up and he got potential. Hell no. I just don't see that. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that as a likelihood. I think the chances of that happening is very, very low. Yeah. And I could get that scenario because hey, this guy went from convict to being a model. So hey, that's something that could happen. I can see that. Man, yeah, if my wife made like way more than me to where I don't need to work, I can't just sit around all day and not do shit, right? Like, I feel like that's when a stereotype would have to come in. If my wife made so much money where I was like, where my income, I could lose my job and we could still live exactly the same. At that point, if my wife made that much more money than me, I can't just be sitting at home playing fucking video games all day. Nah, I gotta be in the gym. I gotta be doing Pilates. I gotta keep everything tight. I gotta keep everything tight. Hey man, you gotta you that's all the stuff you would have to do. I think aren't those I don't know. I feel like those are expectations. Now I don't know if everybody conform with them, but like I would like to think if my income was so high, we can maintain this same standard of living, regardless of if my wife worked or not. If she elected not to work, I would be cool with that, but I just wouldn't want her to be at home not doing nothing, right? I would want her to be involved. Hey, when I got home, it is what it is. But when I got home, I would want to smell lemon pledge and meatloaf. And if I was the one at home, when she got home, you know what the house would smell like? Damn lemon pledge and meatloaf. I feel like it cuts both ways. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a soccer dad. I think that's kind of what the expectations are or what the expectations would be. And that's a good question for this couple. I would like to know if they are actually conforming to gender roles or not. Because I'm going to just be honest. Somebody born in 1932, 35, however old this guy was, 85-year old, I don't think he got time for, if he's in a position where he's comfortable enough to take care of everything financially and she can just lounge and not have to work. I don't think he'd be cool with not coming home and not having a meal cook or being home all day and not having stuff just kind of done. I mean, this is an older guy who has a older mindset, and I don't know if his mindset would be conducive to what people would define as a modern woman. Everything went left. Yeah. See, you said that little check. How did I know? I don't know what. I already know because I just don't. Hey, you're talking to somebody who's been in a lot of arguments with women. Okay, I had a lot of disagreements. Man, guys, when we get in arguments, we don't know what to say in an argument to really hit you hard, or we just like whatever. That's just kind of how guys. Man, well, I don't want to hear it. A guy's argument go to is all we do is we get loud and hope the argument stop. And then once it don't stop, we like, oh shit, we shot all of our bullets out of our gun. You know what I mean? We may not have much, but women, nah. See, the fact that you said that little check, soon as you say something like that, I don't care what it is, a guy will. One, that's gonna stay in his mind forever, and it's gonna be hard for him to let that shit go. Everything else, you could think everything else got over. He will work hard and bust his ass to make more money than you. He would work hard and bust his ass to make more money than you, just to get, just to make more money than you, because that one statement will sear in his head. Either one or two things gonna happen. Even if you attack a guy on his finances because you make more than him, either it's not going to work out and you just going to have to be with somebody else, or in the alternative, he's going to use that and let it drive him to where he can make more money than you. And he'll bring that comment up years later when he made way more money than you. He's going to be like, you remember that time 7 years ago? You're going to be like, what? You done forgot all about it. You forgot you said the shit, because it was probably nothing for you to say. But for him, that's something that's just going to sear in his damn mind. And so that's why finances are like, I don't know. I just don't think that, I'm gonna be honest. I think that it's just a problem, not in most, but not in all, but I think most it could cause a problem and be a point of contention if the woman makes more than the man, because we have these gender roles when it comes to certain things. And unfortunately, one of the gender roles that kind of sticks around is that men should be providers, and the only provision that people think of is economic. There's a whole lot of other provisions out there. You gotta, emotionally provide and all of these other things. But the economic provision is the one that society beats into us, and so that's just the point of contention, and it's always going to be there. But yeah, lemon pledge and meatloaf is the smell of the day. If whoever the person is who's staying at home in a stay-at-home relationship, your obligation is to lemon pledge, meatloaf, make sure the kids squared away, and keep your ab game going. You got to be in the gym doing squats and all of that stuff. You can't be Mrs. DFD. I can't. She busting her ass at work 8, 10, 12 hours a day and I'm at home loafing around. Like, nah, we have to conform to our gender roles. And in that situation, my gender role would be to, hey, I got to make sure everything on the home front is taken care of because she's gone all the time doing the economic thing. So that's just kind of what it is. But it's that's a tough thing to, unless you, nah. I mean, I don't know. Does the lemon pledge and meatloaf still have to get done even if someone is pissed off, right? Like, if it, I mean, even if I piss my wife off and I was a stay at home dad, I'm a soccer dad, and I piss my wife off, she still go to work and provide economically, right? So because I get pissed off, I shouldn't cook meatloaf and pledge. Nah, that's shit that you just got to do, whether you pissed off or not. That's my take. I'm telling you right now, if if my wife is a stay-at-home mom and I'm out busting my ass at work, I don't give a damn if we got in an argument or not about anything. Just because we get in my argument, my obligations and expectations don't stop. So why should hers or why should his? But that's, I don't know. I think I think that's the, kind of the point of contention. You're right about that, Marcus. Years later, it was still haunting him, which is why, yeah, see, yeah, I know that's something for guys, that because society says men are providers and we just think of provision as economics. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it a buck. The fact that that statement, the fact that you made that statement shows that even you think of men as providers. And when you think of men as providers, you think of it as an economic standpoint. So that's a hard ass thing to do. And it take a special type of person, a guy, to, you know, make less than his woman and be completely comfortable in it. Because I'm telling you right now, the minute you say that, I'm going back in the workforce. I'm going back to school. I already know me. I'm doing whatever the hell I need to do. I'm selling my baseball cards, my Pokemon cards, whatever, whatever I got, whatever I got to make more than you, because that's how much that would bother me that you said it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. But it's weird what, you know, and we're gonna take the 85-year-old Colonel Sanders, Captain Crunch, and this sister out of it. Okay, let's kind of take them out of it, because a lot of times obligations and relationships are conditional. You know what I mean? And what the person does in a relationship, it shouldn't be conditional. And I tell you, the one thing that I saw all the time, that I thought just didn't make any sense. And I thought I was tripping when I heard this statement being said. I let my wife see the video where I heard the statement at. I said, "Hey, take a look at this." And I didn't even tell her my opinion. I just wanted to hear what she thought about it. But I watched the video, and a sister said something like, "I don't have a problem being submissive to a man if he is doing what he needs to do." And I was like, that's crazy. I said, I don't know. I thought that was crazy to say. I understand the context of what she means, but it didn't make any sense to me, because that would be the equivalent of a guy saying, I don't have no problem providing for a woman as long as she's submissive. If you got two people who think like that, ain't nobody gonna get shit done. It's just kind of crazy that, it's kind of crazy that people, think like that, but that's kind of how people think. I gotta withhold something to get something. And part of it is because the way that I think we're trained is that the way that we're trained in general is it has to be winners and losers. We define everything in terms of winning and losing. If I give up this, I'm losing something, and this person is getting an advantage in this particular category. Or if I concede this, I'm weak and this person is gaining strength. And I think that's just the way that we look at things in any type of relationship. I don't care if it's a business relationship. I don't care if it's a sports team. Man, this dude taking too many shots. I want to be the star of the team. Why he getting all the shine? I think we look at We look at things and wins as either wins or losses, and that's it. And that also works out that way, just economically. So it's a cold game. I think at the end of the day, the guys that I have is, hey, my mother. I wish some young ass guy would come trying to date Mama DFD. You want to hear news? If some young guy come trying to date my mother who's in her 70s, uh Judy, you're gonna be doing the video on a attorney YouTuber who snapped and broke somebody up and now in custody. But that's those type of things happen. Those type of things are common. I think in most of those situations, it's predatory. That's just me. Y'all already know. I think most people aren't worth a damn. Most people are trying to take advantage. So I think in most situations, when you got a large ass age gap, 40, 50, 60 years, people going in with ill intent, people going in to take advantage. So if you got an older person, you got to make sure you kind of protect them and cover them. And I remember once, my pops was dating. He probably was maybe in his late 60s, and he was dating some girl who was like in her. She maybe was in her late 20s, right? And like he would call and tell me about it. He would call and tell me about it. But I cracked a joke, and when I cracked this joke, I don't think he found it that funny. But I think it was like a reality shot for him. I said, "All right, man." I said, what I told him was, "Hey, man, do what you need to do. Have fun. Be safe. Just make sure you're being safer and protecting yourself. Because the last thing I want to go do is have your grandson go pick up his little uncle from daycare." And all I remember is my father said something like, "Get the hell off my phone." And I talked to him for about a week after that. But hey, it's not uncommon for older people to want to. I mean, that shit probably make you feel young. If you 70 and you dating somebody in the 20s, man, it's probably like getting a rejuvenation of life. But you got to protect it, because most times I've seen these situations far too often. I prosecuted cases, abuse of misuse of funds and all of these type of things. Is a whole game to take advantage. A lot of those people may not be as sharp, so you got to look out for that. Now, if you got a kid who gaming like that, hey, if it's my son, this is just me speaking as a guy. If it's my son, I'm like, "Son, what the fuck are you doing? You need to get your act together, you damn gigolo." If it's my daughter, I'm gonna be like, "Look here, Grady, I don't know what y'all think got going on, but not under my watch. It's just not happening." I'm gonna be exactly like Kareem was. I think Kareem did the right thing in that scenario. Hey, you got to, right? Like, hey, is you got to give him honest advice. The conversations I had with my father is honest. I'm like, he probably, I don't know. I like it, it's all the gamesmanship thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's no reason. Why the hell would a 29-year-old woman want a 69-year-old guy, but for some type of convenience or comfort? That's just it. Hey, I love my father, and for his age, he in good shape, but he ain't no buff ass old guy. You know what I mean? I could see if he was like one of them old ass guys who was in the gym all the time, and when he took his shirt off, he was all ripped. And like one of them, them cool ass old dudes who be on TikTok in their tight ass suits with their ankle socks on and some loafers. But nah, that's not my dad. so like it's no legitimate way, but for some type of convenience or comfort. So I have to give him the best counsel that I could give him. You know what I mean? I think that's just how it is with everybody. Yeah, literally the same it's the same conversation I would have with my son. But yeah, he didn't like that statement. I said, like, "Hey, you got to protect yourself and be careful, because I don't want your grandson going to daycare to pick up his little uncle from daycare." And man, I could tell he was mad about that comment. But yo, I thought this was a crazy thing to talk about. Let's see how this ends. Just as a poll, do y'all think we're gonna hear in the next 24 months that this couple is being divorced or not? I don't know. Like, we could hear a lot of things. It could be if they make it 24 months, because I mean, this brother's already beating the odds. The average age of the average male in the United States is like 76 or 77. So So yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this couple play out. But if anything develops from this case, I could probably guess what's going to happen. I think that she's gonna. I'm gonna give y'all my Nostradamus prediction powers. She's gonna get this IVF done, and she's gonna have a child because I think for her that's an economic priority. The child is going to be born, and knock on wood that this brother sticks around long enough to see the child born and all of that stuff. But it's without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to hear in another, I say, no more than 90 days that this sister is pregnant, because I think that is a part of the security. Whatever provisions he may have in place to protect his assets, once he has that child, is a game changer, and that's what she's going to do, because I don't think she's dumb. I mean, if she was a nurse and she was on the verge of trying to get into medical school, she clearly got some common sense about her, so she's going to move with common sense. That's funny. Y'all are hilarious. 34 years younger? Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. See, now my pops though, he not getting married. He like, nah, man, I did that shit twice. I'm never doing it again. Like literally, me and my father got married in like the same year. You know what I mean? Like my father married his second wife, and I got married. We got married literally like a few months apart. So, but I know he's not going down that. Yeah. Oh, she's not. It's not probably. She's going to cheat on him. And I'm gonna be honest. If I was 85 years old and I got a 24-year-old wife, I'm expecting you to cheat on me. You just need to let me have some say so in who you cheat with. Hey, at that age, you got to be cool with certain stuff. It looked like my mic went out for a minute. I don't know if that's it, if it's back on that, but hey, you got to have these terms and agreement. She's going to cheat on him. It's just a matter of time. If you're going to go ahead and cheat on me, you might as well let me have some say. He'll be dead. Nah, man. Yes, the 24 months divorce. I think it's going 24 months, man, at 85. Yeah, so she probably became. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. She was working at the laundromat. Yeah, yeah, she was working at the laundromat, but he might have paid for that degree. She probably ain't got no student loan. I got so many fucking questions. I got so many damn questions I want to answer. But hey, we'll see. I'm gonna say 90 days. We're gonna see a story that she's pregnant, and I'm just hoping that hey, I want